Luke Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. May I take this opportunity to say a great deal of thanks from my constituency to the Queen for her service over the almost 70 years, as I may not get that chance going forward. This Queen's speech is labelled, the session today, is Making Britain the Best Place to Grow Up and to Grow Old. 2.5 years into my service as the MP for my constituency, I thought it's worth touching on a few things to try and move that plan forward. We've had millions of pounds into Hinckley Academy to make sure we have an education that's supporting our local children. We've had £19.9 million go to Twycross Zoo to create a conservation education centre there to breed the next conservationists of the future. We've had £28 million go into Leicestershire for internet, which means 330 houses in Sketchley Brook in Burbage have now got better, faster internet access. And we've had £1.8 million into Hinckley High Street to improve it, to make sure that people go to that place and want to enjoy it, whether you're a child or an OAP. We're working on getting the A5 improved, the infrastructure that's vital for our constituency, so people can get to their jobs. With £20 million invested in it, and we've moved through decision point 1 earlier in March, and I'm keen to see that goes forward. And of course, most importantly, we've had £7 million put towards the Hinckley Hospital, with another CDC coming forward with a plan that's coming together, ready to go, and I am dead keen to make sure there is no red tape in the way when that CDC comes forward, because that puts Hinckley on the map and provides us the service we need for our community, children, adults and OAPs, and that's what it's all about. But there are two parts that I'd like to focus on in the 3 minutes I have left. The first is planning, and the second is the online safety bill. Now, when it comes to planning, I've heard the Secretary of State use an acronym Biden to discuss the 5 crucial points. I put it to him he's missed a trick here, because actually in bed with Gove would be a far better selling point. But the principles are right. We need the right homes in the right place with the right infrastructure that's right for our environment. That is actually fundamental to our planning system. And the current planning system doesn't deliver that, and my constituency typifies it, because under the Lib Dem local borough, under the Borough Council, we don't have an up-to-date local plan, which fundamentally means every single day we are open to speculative development without that infrastructure, without those amenities, and without that support. So I'm pleased the Queen's speech is bringing forward planning change, and I think it should really concentrate on strengthening neighbourhood plans, localism in action, especially if you don't have an up-to-date local plan. But of course, the infrastructure levy is so important, getting funding up front for the amenities that we need. The roads, the GP surgeries, the schools, all these things need to be rectified, and I'm glad they're being brought forward. And of course, building out. It's one thing developers getting the land, it's another thing them using it. Because we need houses for young people and their families to aspire to, but we also need houses for our pensioners to be able to retire down, to downsize to, that provide support for them. Now, the second, in my last minute, is the online harms bill, and I come at this through my work on body image. And there are two fundamental things that I'd like to see go forward in the online harms bill. The first is a legally named person for the algorithm. We have safeguarding leads in school, we have Caldecott guardians in health, we have GDPR controllers. And the fundamental point on our social media or on internet is the algorithm. Naming someone who's accountable means that anyone in this house or anyone in this country would be able to hold the big companies to account. And I think that's imperative to lifting the bonnet to see what is underneath and what is driving the content that all of us, be it children or adults, are served. And the second is the authenticity of images. Allow people to choose if they want to be served verified, authentic images. That technology exists. We're allowing people to choose anonymity. Why don't we do it with authenticated images? These two little changes will really make sure that we grow up and grow old in the best of Britain.